Today we're talking with Ann Randolph from Murray Consultants, and Ann, thanks for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love your research and I love the information you provide, so let's just jump right into it. Consumers want what from a real estate agent?
Purely and simply, they want to feel that the agent completely represents their interests. You know, the idea that alternative service models are going to take over and the consumer doesn't want the help of a realtor is nonsense. It actually dropped by 50% and is well under 10% utilization now of alternative models. And particularly when the market is bad, people need a professional. This is a very big transaction.
You know, as a realtor, I think, what does the consumer want? Well, they're interested in how high the price they're going to get for their house, how quickly it's going to sell, but it's whether or not the agent represents their best interest is at the top of their list, right?
Absolutely. And whether they perceive that the agent is trustworthy, both of those things in repeated surveys that we've done since 2000 are in the 89th percentile, meaning 89% of people put that first.
Now the bad news, because I heard you say that our reputation, agents, may have sunk lower than the used car salesman?
Yes. The Harris poll does a survey of thousands of consumers and asks them to talk about different job classifications. And they include things like doctors and lawyers and firemen. Firemen always come out first. But it used to be that real estate agents were ahead of used car salesmen, and now they're dead last.
Which brings me to my next question. What is it that we as real estate agents don't know about the consumer?
You know something? I don't know that it's that good agents don't really understand what their customers want. I think good agents do. I think one thing that's been a hard transition is that many people want much faster communication than agents are used to. Remember, the average agent is 53 and the average home buyer is 36. So there is a little bit of a disconnect there. I think what's happened is that the number of agents in the business went up by almost 60% in the last 7 years. So even in California, it went from 140 to 210,000 in 18 months.
Wow.
And those people have spent their 40 hours, but they're not managed well. People are not training them well. And so they go out and they have, you know, this is an experienced business. The best people are very experienced. So
let me flip the question. What is it that the consumer doesn't know about agents?
I think the consumer who goes online and spends a great deal of time educating themselves on what they think is involved in a transaction and what's important, and finding listings and picking on neighborhood, what they now have is a lot of data. What they don't really have is information, and a lot of agents then have to be very patient and re-educate or reinterpret the information that particular person has found online. And there's a lot of sort of pitfalls in disclosures, in things like radon, that a consumer might not even have top of mind. Here's a great example. I bought a second home in Breckenridge, and because I have lived in many places, including Crested Butte, where there wasn't, back in the 70s, when there was only well water, I knew to ask, is this well certified?
Yeah.
And do I have, the permit to use the well? And these agents were from California and had no idea what I was talking about.
Really?
Really. And it turned out that, in fact, the permit had never been filed.
Oh, right.
Now, it was a technical thing and we took care of it, but that's what you look for an agent to do. And I think sometimes consumers may think they know more than they know, and sometimes the agents may feel the consumers are less educated than they are.
And here's what clouds the picture even more. When a consumer's out there trying to choose a real estate agent or a brokerage firm, I mean, we've got to help you sell. We've got a ready real estate. We've got a RE/MAX model. We've got a traditional brokerage model. I mean, there's so many different business models in brokerage firms. The question is there one that's really better than another?
Well, first of all, they're really not so different anymore. When they started out, both Realty Executives and RE/MAX were 100% concepts. So the agent would get 100% of their commission, but then they would pay desk fees or other kinds of fees. So whether you're paying them directly or you pay for them through a split of your commission, you were still paying for them. But the agent wanted to know in the RE/MAX model that they had control over that and they could really manage their own spending. But RE/MAX now is, in most cases, or many cases, is no longer 100%. There are some things taken right off the top. They are now hiring new agents who are starting at more traditional splits as they get trained. So I think and at the same time, traditional brokerages have been increasing their splits to the very top agents. So you're kind of getting into where they're just not that different.
Yeah, exactly. Last question. Best advice you can give an agent in '08?
Oh, get connected. Just get connected through your own network, through really targeted and meaningful direct response. You know, sending out a recipe card to somebody who doesn't cook is not very smart.
Yeah.
So you have to think about what types of information are going to be very valuable to your audience and get it into their hands, or invite them to call you to get that information. And everybody, of course, is concerned about what's happening in their neighborhood. You know, is it a stable neighborhood? Is it going up or going down? You know, are there a lot of people at risk right now of, you know, losing their home in your neighborhood? That's what people care about right now.
Ann, fascinating information. Thanks
Thank
for being
you.
with us.
Find more real estate videos at brokeriptv.com.